Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, as you guys know, the Mark Jackson news is the big news, right? We did a live about it. We discussed it. But there's an aspect of this story that I haven't touched, which is basically the fan reaction to this news. I think some people don't realize, and maybe the people at ESPN don't realize, apart from maybe the monetary decision that went behind making this decision, but I don't think they realize the backlash that this move by getting rid of Mark Jackson, what it's created. When I tell you guys that a lot of NBA fans are in an uproar over this decision to fire Mark Jackson, you just won't believe it. You see, here's what's been happening, and here's what I've been noticing. There are a lot of people out there that have maybe an issue with Disney or an issue with ESPN as a whole, right? Or maybe they have an issue with Disney and it's now kind of carrying over to ESPN. A lot of people already have formed strong opinions about that network. A lot of people. A lot of people were not happy about some of the things that have been taking place over the last few years at ESPN. You then find yourself in a situation where you let go of all of these big names, you know, that day when they got rid of all those Max Kellerman, all of these guys. And in the midst of all of that, because we produce a lot of shows around that, I cannot tell you the number of people that I heard in the comment section that I read where people say, why did they keep Kendrick Perkins? Why did they keep Malik Andrews? Why did they keep this person? Why did they keep that person? And then you come to this Mark Jackson firing. I can't tell you guys how many creators I've listened to today that have talked about how they're not going to support ESPN any longer. If they're going to watch NBA games, they're going to be lowering the volume. If I go through some of the comments that people are leaving on our channel, some people are saying Mark Jackson is a hell of an analyst for the NBA. Man, that's some BS. I'm through with ESPN. Another person, ESPN losing all that money because they continue to push various agendas. Another person, games won't sound the same again without Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy. Another person, for those of you who don't know, ESPN is owned by Disney, blah, 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 blah. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And to me, I just wonder if these guys are aware of what the impact is of some of their decisions. As I said before, and I'm going to say it again, a lot of these TV stations, they get feedback in terms of the performance of their show, but they're looking at totally different markers. They're looking at age, demographic, what time, households, all of those different things, what devices are they watching on, and they kind of take the various sample sizes and then they use Nielsen they use a totally different system and they now feed that information to advertisers and all of these different things. But in the case of, for example, YouTube, whenever you create content here, there are various feedback mechanisms in place that can inform a particular creator of whether or not people enjoy their content beyond just the number of views it gets or maybe the demographics. In the case of YouTube, you have something called the like button. Now they've hid the dislike button, but of course you have the like button. That's a way of tracking, you know, the sentiment of the content that you're putting out. You may not be able to see the dislikes in this case, and we're referring to the audience, but the creator can. You can see the like to dislike ratio within your analytics. Another one that's very powerful is the comment section. So if you put out a piece of content, you may think it's good, right? You may think, oh man, this is a great idea to produce this show. But if you produce the show and maybe it's getting a lot of views, right, you think it's a good thing. But if you don't go read the comments, you won't get a good sentiment of that. I'll give you guys an example. We had a video that performed exceptionally well. It was around the time Shannon Sharp, you know, when he left Undisputed, and we did a video about why him and Skip Bayless didn't shake hands or something like that. And the video got a lot of views, like 150,000 views. But almost all of the comments, people were disagreeing with me. They were like, man, no, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. This is wrong. You're wrong for this one. You're wrong. So although it generated a lot of views, yes, it did. But the vast majority of the people disagreed with the content that we put out. So therefore, I was able to get a better understanding of whether or not this piece of content is resonating with people. And to me, I think the most surprising part is that these decisions that they're making is like they're unaware of how people are receiving them. That's the part. Now, some people may say, listen, it's not about how people are perceiving them. They're making financial decisions, and these decisions have to be made. And if they don't make the tough decisions, there are going to be repercussions for these decisions. Well, really, is that the case? I'll give you guys an example. As you know, Pat McAfee just signed on with ESPN. I was reading an article today from Front Office Sports where they were discussing the fact that Pat McAfee is going to be judged by much stricter standards. Let me give you guys an example of what I'm talking about. Pat McAfee was probably the biggest independent sports creator out there. Pat McAfee, his show was huge, right? He had so many supporters, so many people loved him. The moment Pat McAfee said that he's deciding to join ESPN, if you saw the backlash that he got from his own supporters, we're not talking about people that don't like, we're talking about his own supporters and people that were upset with his decision to go and join ESPN. Some people, I'm not going to watch the show again. Some people are like, it's never going to be the same again. A lot of people were upset with that decision. And then you relate it back to this one, and it's like you make a decision like this and so many people disagree. So many people disagree. I think that's telling. I really think it's telling. I think you want to be making decisions that is going to excite your audience, get them energized. Like, man, did you see who they just got? I'll give you guys an example of this. There was some news that came out recently and some videos where you saw Stephen A. Smith publicly lobbying to get Shannon Sharpe. And when people heard the possibility that Shannon Sharpe might be joining Undisputed, so many people were excited, including me. What, you're going to see Shannon Sharpe on Undisputed once a week, blah, blah, blah. So many people were excited. They were like, yeah, I think that would be a great move. This would be fantastic, right? A move that a lot of people can get behind. But in these moves that they're making, man, you know, it's like they don't realize the impact of their decisions beyond the monetary aspect of it, because people are upset. If you go around the internet and read comments about content being produced about this Mark Jackson news, you will see the vast majority of the NBA fans are disappointed about this news. And I think that's telling. Now, maybe they knew this and they had to make this decision anyway. But to me, nevertheless, it's very surprising that so many people are disagreeing with this decision to now let go of Mark Jackson and then before let go of Jeff Van Gundy, to me, which is really surprising because I thought they did a great job. And some people are not happy about Doc Rivers and Doris Burke. Now, not to say Doris Burke is not, obviously she knows basketball very well. I've heard her cover a lot of games. She's fantastic. No one is saying that. People are just upset that they let go of Jeff Van Gundy and Mark Jackson, if I'm being quite honest with you. And some people are not really feeling the Doc Rivers hire. But hey, you know, this is just some people's opinion, and obviously the people that have these opinions are not decision makers, and people are going to make their decisions because it's their company. So I guess we have to wait and see how things pan out. Anyway, my question is simply this: are you okay with ESPN letting go of Mark Jackson? Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments, and we catch you on the next show. Peace.